Check out the feet because you're going to be looking at concrete. White peoples, we got to talk. I've had a couple instances and incidents at work that made me want to make this video. Now, I'm not from California. I moved here back in 2014, May 6, 2014. You know, I remember the day like it was yesterday. It's still kind of surreal to me that I'm out of Louisiana because I can't stand, it's some shit in the South that I just can't stand, and being in Louisiana was one of them. I felt like I was stuck there. But ever since, I got here May 6, 2014. Since January 1st, 2015, I moved into this house that I'm living in right now. And I would say since I want to say August of 2015, I've been working at this department store that I've been working in right here. Now, you always heard that white people, even though they claim that they mean well, have always said shit that, let's just say, that they shouldn't be saying. And it's been a couple incidents, or should I say, there's been a couple instances of this shit happening at my job. Now, I'm going to take my time with this video. I don't want it to be long, but if it ends up being long, so be it. But understand, and I'm going to say this just as a disclaimer, I'm very passionate about certain things. And when you're very passionate about something and you're eager to speak on it, oftentimes people who are like that, they will, I don't know about other people, but I know for me, people I tend to jump from like subject to subject because I just want to get that point across off so urgently that it just comes off as like big, like some mumbo jumbo when, because of that passion, I get excited and a certain sense of eagerness comes about, and I just want to get this stuff off my chest, and if I'm not careful, it's just going to come out as like blah, 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 pretty much like Charlie Brown's parents. But, yeah. And that's where we're going to start this video off at today. Now, there's been like 2 instances at work where white people have said the word nigga around me. Yes, they have said the word nigga around me. And when I say it took so much out of me to not do what I wanted to do to them, actually, it's been 3. But one of the people, she up and she left. She fled the fucking scene. I don't know if it's because she thought something was going to happen to her. I don't know if she claimed she was going to go to a modeling career in fucking Los Angeles. I don't know what the fuck it was, but the bitch got out. Good for her. But these other 2 instances, and this shit be so shocking to me because you would like to think that, white people have a certain amount of intelligence about it where they won't go around saying that type of shit around black people. But goddamn, dude, white people, it's only happened like once per person, but that's more than enough. You know what I mean? It's one of those things that it's so surreal to me that it catches me off guard when I hear it, to the point where I just black out, and I'm surprised I didn't do shit to them, because I still have the urgency to want to go do something. And if I see them outside of work, oh, trust me, it's going down. Like I'm gonna remind them of what they did, and then I'm gonna proceed to do what I do. But you can't catch these motherfuckers after work, and you have to move. Like, this is pretty much like chess. You don't want to do anything that's going to put you in a bad position, and you have to move intelligently, meaning that you just can't snap on, white people at any given time after they say the shit, especially if you're at work. You know what I mean? Like, eventually it may get to the point where somebody may think, like, fuck this damn job. But I got a 401k lined up. I got a fucking good hours. I have a good pay rate, so I'm in a good position right now, and I can't really afford with everything else I got going on. I'm trying to make this YouTube thing happen, and I need money to fund that, and this is my means to make that happen. I'm trying to put myself in a position to where I don't have to worry about waking up in the morning and going to a 9 to 5 anymore. One day I hope to pull enough money from this YouTube to where I can just say, I can really say fuck that job. But until then, I need to get to work. So putting myself in a position where I could lose that job is not like the smart thing to do. That don't mean that while I'm on the clock, I can't do what I want to do. But when I'm off the clock and I'm outside of that outside of that work environment, oh yeah, it's you know it's a green light on all of them. But other than that, man, the name of this video is why do white people want to say the word nigga so bad? And I'm not gonna get into like a history lesson because, like I said, I don't want this video to be extra long. But y'all need to understand the lineage that y'all come from. Y'all come from a lineage of racist, murderous, rapists, and evil motherfuckers. I'm talking to white people here that stole land, killed off a bunch of Mexicans and Native Indians, the real Native Americans, stole their land, went to fucking Africa, West Africa, stole people from their own homeland, forced them to get on the damn boat, or and took them across the Atlantic Ocean, called the transatlantic slave trade, where a lot of them didn't even make it, and the ones that did, they were put in shackles, sold off like fucking pieces of furniture and work tools, and forced to work in harsh conditions, and they were sodomized, they were beat, bags were put over their head. You had sons and having sex with them, forced to have sex with their mothers on like these breeding farms because you need more niggas to keep the business going. Like they had people doing disgusting shit like that. So when you read up on your history and that shit went on, and I know a lot of y'all white people, like, it's kind of like the last video that I recorded, like last year or like way earlier this year, where I said if your story, your history is covered in murder, rape, and genocide and thievery, but all you were taught were stories of glory and valor, when somebody brings this information to you, it's gonna sound like news to you. They do little hints at it in these fucking school systems, but they don't go into detail as to what the fuck really happened. You gotta go to a library and you gotta go, do your research online. Like, you really gotta dig deep to find what really happened to us. And when, and this is important because those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And you see them doing the exact same shit now. It's actually getting worse now. But this is all relative to the topic at hand. Why do white people want to say the word nigga so bad? So knowing all that shit and being called nigger with the ER at the end, which is a derivative of the word negus, which is an Ethiopian term that either means king or queen, depending on who's on the throne. With that word being used to degrade and being used as a derogatory term to black people who were enslaved, hundreds of years later, we take the ER off. We basically take a negative and we turn it into a positive. So we take we take that word that was used for us to be degraded, and we turn it into something positive. We call ourselves niggas. And basically what that means is a person, I understand your struggle. And the only motherfuckers that understand our struggle are the ones that's been through the shit that we've been through. And ain't nobody else been through the shit like us except for a select few other ethnicities. And I do mean a select few other ethnicities. You know what I mean? The word nigga is, let me give you like the unwritten rule here, white people. The word nigga is only allowed to be used, and I do say only allowed to be used by black people, or anybody that grew up around black people in I should say, an environment where they actually had to struggle. I know a lot of people out there, they think just like Donald Trump. They think, that motherfucker in the office for a reason. But they think just like Donald Trump. And what I mean by that is, how Donald Trump was in that interview and he made that sad attempt to try to relate to the working class. He said, oh, growing up, it wasn't easy for me, assuming that he really had to struggle or some shit. And he said that my father gave me, like a small business loan of $1 million. Like, let me just end it right there. First off, for the fact that you talking about you ain't have it easy, for you to even have the option of getting $1 million from somebody, that right there shows you didn't have to struggle. And the fact that you think that $1 million is small, that you ain't struggling. You don't know what the fuck that is. You ain't grew up on like knowing whether or not you was gonna, get the food stamps recharged next month. You don't know. You ain't grew up selling drugs. You ain't grew up having to do certain things to survive. You weren't in a surviving mentality. You never had to do certain things to, keep yourself afloat. Because if you didn't, the lights were going to go off, the water was going to go off. You couldn't maintain. You didn't grow up on fucking, you don't know what the fuck a sugar sandwich is. Let me really get you, like, really. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't drunk a cup of Kool-Aid in his life. Let me not get too sidetracked, bro. But you have white people out there who really think like that. They think just because they bump their toe, they can relate, they think just because like they, they had their toes stomped on like a brick or like a tire or something, then they can relate. That basically to them that basically equates to the hurt that black people have felt, over hundreds of years. Like it's on that level of fucking idiocy, and because of that, they feel like, oh well, since I've been able to do anything I want. Historically, white people have been able to do whatever the fuck they want, and there are no consequences. Hell, even today, motherfuckers get away with doing this shit in politics, doing fucking shit and fucking, in this world where they kill people and they get away with the shit. Fucking, what was the name of that fucking white bitch that killed her daughter and she got away with it? Like, don't give me, like, and there's many examples. But like I said, for me to even go down the fucking Egyptian scroll of all the shit that has happened, like this video would be like 3 hours long. Cause trust me, I can do it. But yeah, white people come from a lineage, to where they can just do whatever the fuck they want, and there are no consequences for them to suffer because their people made the rules that we currently live under, and they are the ones that can break the rules. You know what I mean? So it's like, y'all can get away with a whole lot more shit. That's why black people and a black person and a white person can do the same crime, and the black person is going to get more time for it. Like, you feel me? Like, a black person is going to get more time, a harsher punishment, even when the crime doesn't justify I mean, even when the punishment that they receive doesn't coincide with the crime that they did. You know, if a person steals some money out of a register, you know, obviously, you know, like you're going to jail for that. A white person steals money, you know, they probably going to jail for like 2 weeks. A black person going to jail for like 6 months, or probably a year, and 6 months is being lenient. You know what I mean? Like it's an unfair system, but then again, it's a system that was made for you. So you can get away with basically anything that y'all can fucking do. So saying this word nigga, y'all just feel like, yeah, this is just another thing that y'all can get away with. Since now I don't know when, you know, it actually started, but since for me, when I started noticing this shit, since like the 90s, anytime a white person said the you know, the word nigga, even though if they claim they meant it as a friendly term, you know, it's not a term of endearment coming from a white person. It's never going to mean that because of the lineage that you come from. You know, we the ones who took the negative from, you know, took the negative and turned it into a positive to have it mean something positive for us. As well as, you know, some Mexicans and some Samoans. You even have a couple Asians who can, you know, who can get away with saying it. It's not coming from an evil place. You know what I mean? It's coming from a place of like they give a fuck. You know, on top of the fact that white people, when they say the shit, because like I said, I've had to deal with the shit at work a couple times. White people, they say the shit like y'all want to get y'all ass beat. Y'all saying it like y'all want to get y'all ass beat. Y'all not saying it with that pain behind it that makes it clear that you understand what black people go through in this country. You know, and maybe I'm not going through as much as I once did, but I still went through it. And that molded me into who I am today. I ain't forgot shit. You're not gonna make me forget shit. You know what I mean? So I still harbor those same lessons and those same feelings that I had at that time. I didn't go through not having money to just go and spend it all willy-nilly. Hell no, I gotta save this shit. Because you never know when it's gonna be another rainy day. You know what I mean? Like, those who value money aren't going to spend it like there's no fucking tomorrow. Now, granted, we can't take a shit with us when we leaving. That's the excuse motherfuckers want to leave. But guess what? We can leave this for the people who are remaining here. We can leave it for our people who are remaining here so that they can have something. Because that's how white people got on top. That's how, you know, a lot of Asians got on top. That's how a lot of Mexicans got on top. They, you know, they pass that wealth on to the next generation. Granted, I can't take it with me when I go into the afterlife, but they're going to be straight. You know what I mean? So yeah, white people, they, you know, you're able to get you since this whole colonization and invasion shit started, y'all have been able to get away with doing shit because y'all made the rules and y'all the ones who could break them without any consequence, or rather, should I say, little to no consequence. But when it comes to this word, y'all know they got some shit coming behind it if y'all say it. It may not happen right away because, like I said, you got to move smart because they always do this shit in an environment to where you have the most to lose. Know that. That's why you got to move smart. You ain't got to catch them at work, but catch them after work. You know what I'm saying? Gonna put their ass in a headlock, hit them with a chair or something. I don't, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, let them know that shit ain't cool. You know, like you got to pay for that. But you know, black people, we turn anything into gold. We turn anything into an attraction. We can take the wackest thing in the world, we start doing it, and all of a sudden it becomes, you know, like the cool thing to do. All of a sudden everybody wants to fucking do it. And I'm gonna need fucking, and I know they doing this shit on purpose, but you got some ignorant motherfuckers out there that actually believe the shit that they posting. I can't remember the name of the fucking magazine. Excuse me if I get this. Well, fuck it. I don't give a damn if I get your name wrong. But I want the source to be accurate, so I want y'all to go look this shit up. I think it's a magazine or something called the Cosmopolitan. I'm not talking about the drink. It's like a group that posts new trendy ideas, and they've taken several historically black trends, and they're trying to introduce it as something new, with a white person being at the forefront, being the first person that did the shit, which is a clear cut fucking lie. You know what I mean? Like when they did that shit with Kim Kardashian, talking about she had boxer braids. Man, Ciara had them fucking same braids in her hair years, you know what I'm saying, years ago. Black people been rocking that shit years, you know what I mean, for fucking decades on end. You know, hell, you could probably even go back to fucking, you know, hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago. Black people been rocking them damn hairstyles. Man, don't get me started. You know, they called a fucking they called it like a fucking do-rag, like an urban hair tie. You know, again, another example of white people trying to get away with any, you know, like, dude, don't get me started, bro. Again, eager, passion. I kind of made the disclaimer in the beginning, so don't be surprised that this happening now. But yeah, but y'all know y'all got consequences. This is the first time in this world's history that y'all have to deal with a consequence behind something that y'all said. You know, and you think just because you claim that you're using it as a term of endearment, it's never going to mean that coming from you. You claim that you get along with black people, that's not, hell, then that's even more reason why y'all shouldn't say it. Respect me enough to, from what I've been through, what my people have been through, to not say no shit like that if you claim that you get along with black people. But, you know, at this point in my life, every white person has said nigga at one point or another in their life. And if they never said the shit, they lying. If they claim they never said the shit, they lying their ass off. Ain't no fucking way. Because, mind you, these three incidents, they only said the shit once, as far as I know. But if they're willing to say that shit like that, it's almost like they be making bets with each other. Hey, I bet I can say the word nigga in front of a black person and I won't get in trouble for it. Bitch, we at work. I know damn well what's gonna happen if I do what I want to do to you right now. Nah, we cool. Catch his ass later, and you know what I'm saying. you know, like y'all know how we do, man. So, you know, talking to my black people right there, you know, all my hoodsters, like y'all know how we do. And yeah, we gonna catch them later, but yeah, like it's just the word was originated by you to mean something negative. We took that negativity and we turned it into something positive for the people that can relate to us. You know, understand that the slave master will never be cool in the eyes of the slaves unless they brainwash. I seen pictures where black people, I guess it was like a Halloween picture around the time where you had this black girl, it was like a group of white girls, and this black girl, she was like, she had this noose tied around her neck, and she had like her tongue hanging out with her head, you know, laid on her shoulder, like she was getting hung and getting strangled. Like just making fun of that shit with the white girls while they were the ones having the noose around their neck. You know what I mean? Like that type of, that's an ignorant motherfucking black person right there. Black people like that will never be able to use the word nigga. Because we look at them as white people. We really do. We look at them as white people. Because they don't want to be, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, they have no intention on being respected as a black person. They just say fuck it and let that type of shit get away. That's why it's important for you to know your history and know where you came from and know what's happened to you, so that shit like that. And some of y'all know the picture that I'm talking about. You know, it was posted all over Facebook. You know, it was around the time of Halloween. I think it was around, I want to say it was probably like a year or two after Trayvon had got shot by George Zimmerman. And then all of a sudden motherfuckers start wearing all these racist costumes at Halloween. You know, that picture was circulating as well. Now, let me say this, and this is going to be the last thing that I'm going to say. a lot of people wonder, well, who can say the word nigga? First off, you got to be from the hood. You got to be from the hood, and you got to know about struggle. You know, excluding the white people that may live there because they know better. But you got to be from the hood, and you got to understand struggle. So there is a pecking order. Like there's a pecking order of ethnicities that are allowed to say the word nigga, because nigga means I understand your struggle, black man. That's the basic definition of it. That's the foundation of it. That's the reason why it got started being said amongst black people, and we still say it to this day because it means that to us. That's our definition of it. You know, I understand your struggle, black man. Like I understand your shit, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? I feel you. You know what I'm saying? When you talk that shit, I know what the fuck you talking about, my nigga. I know what you mean. You know what I'm saying? Like that, it comes off as I give a fuck about you. You know what I'm saying? Like even when we may be getting at it with each other, like even when we may be beefing with each other, my nigga, look, I know, you know what I'm saying? Like I know. You feel me? It comes from a place, because we all underneath that same umbrella of oppression. We know what the fuck going on. So here's the pecking order of people who can say the word nigga and it's not going to be offensive, you know, because they pretty much go through the same shit as we do, as black people. Now at the very top, you got black people across the board. You know, I'm talking about Haitians, Jamaicans, fucking, you know, no matter where they're from, France, Australia, black people across the board, you know, I know we identify as our, you know, as the country that we come from, but if you got this black skin, and you go through the shit that we go through in this country and around the fucking world, that right there gives you the license to say that shit, and you know what's up. You know, I ain't even got to be from France. I can go to a hood out in France, and say, you know, like what's up, my nigga? Like they know, you know, we know what the fuck is going on. That word means something to us. You know, it means something to us. Even though a lot of the elders, they don't want us to say it, but understand the reason behind why we say it to you know, to begin with. You know, so black people are at the very top of this pecking order. Underneath, you have some Samoans and you have some Asians, you know, and Mexicans. Samoans, Asians, and Mexicans. Even though Mexicans, they don't really say that shit like that. I know in South Central Los Angeles, they you know, like the Mexicans and the blacks, like they going at war each other. Let me say it like this: if it wasn't for that gang shit, they wouldn't even be beefing with each other. It's just over territory. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just over territory because, you know, motherfuckers is at the bottom and they fighting over drug territory and, you know, things like that. Like they just trying to expand their empires for their gangs and shit. Like, motherfucker understand. So I hope they get their shit together to where they're not fighting each other on, you know, like I hope 10 years from now it ain't gonna be no Mexican and black conflict, but I don't live down there. I can only give love from a distance. So, you know, shout out to the Mexicans down there, shout out to the black people down there. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get it together, man. Like, we don't need to be getting at each other's throats like that. But, you know, because like I said, if it wasn't for that gang shit, it wouldn't be no problem. But yeah, like it's, you know, a lot of Samoans, especially the ones that I've met since I've been in California, they're mixed with Samoan and black. Basically, that just means that you know, those guys are just pretty much, you know, the Samoan niggas. They Samoan and black. You know what I'm saying? Like they just Samoan niggas. Then you got Mexicans. A lot of the Mexicans, man, y'all know what it is. Y'all from the hood just like we are. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go through this bullshit. Y'all still, it's more visible of y'all going, in many cases, it's more visible for y'all, you know, going through the shit that y'all going through in this country, even though this is y'all native land, you know, from, you know, the bottom part of the western United States, that's y'all shit. So y'all were pushed off of y'all own homeland. You know what I'm saying? This is y'all shit. Native Americans, I mean, hey, y'all right there with us. You know what I'm saying? Even though y'all more tied to y'all ancestors and, you know, y'all kept a lot of y'all old traditions alive, which is very beautiful. You know, keep that shit preserved because, shit, black people, we lost, man. We went through phases of trying to figure out who the hell we are because we ain't have no fucking identity. But, you know, so we just hood. You know, we ghetto fabulous. And that's what it means to act black. And that's another video I'm going to make in the future. What is acting black? Trust me, y'all gonna love that shit. But, yeah, Mexicans, Samoans, and you even got some Asians from the hood that go through the shit that we go through. You know what I mean? Anything that isn't white, you got white people that go through the police and shit. They come through that motherfucker, and if you ain't white, then you ain't, you know what I'm saying, then you getting it. You know, especially all the Puerto Ricans. Like, they just light-skinned black people any goddamn way. You know, so Dominicans, all of them, like, they good. You know what I'm saying? So it's never no thing, especially up in New York, especially. Like, you go to New York, you know what I'm saying? They getting like they are black. You know what I'm saying? The Puerto Ricans and the Latinos and everything. You know what I'm saying? The Dominicans. You know, it's all tight down there. You know what I'm saying? It's still fuck the police. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me started, bro. But yeah, white people, y'all are at the very bottom of that totem pole. You know, when it comes to y'all saying the word, nigga, it is a hell no, and that's never gonna change. I won't say never. If this new generation don't get their fucking act together, man, shit gonna get bad for them. You know, this world already trying to turn them into sissies and faggots, but let me not get into that shit, because it's gonna be some more shit. But yeah, man, white people, don't say that shit, man. Don't say nigga for your own health. Don't say it. And if you claim that you get along with black people, that should make you not want to say it even more. That should make you want to go to another white person and to tell them, hey, yo, you need to stop saying that shit, bro. Like, it's not, you know, that shit not cool. All right? Peace and love, man.